Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I am Isani Cayetano.
And good morning, Belize. Thank you so much for joining us on this lovely morning. Good morning, Isani.
Good morning, my dear friend.
It's Monday.
It is Monday, the 30th of October, 2023, and it felt as if though the past 4.5 to 5 weeks would never end, but we're
really?
Here. Yes.
That's how you felt it?
It was a drag.
I felt it went by so fast. It was the first, and then I blink, and now I have to go make my altar for Finados now.
Well, I need to get on this spaceship that you're on, that rocket that's taking you into hyperspeed.
It's called having 3 jobs, Isani, and like 0 prospects. But it is what it is. It is October 30th. Kind of gearing at the end, almost to the end of that hurricane season. And I know we're going to talk about the weather in a bit, but it was hard coming to work this morning. The fog was intense. The fog was intense.
You're talking visibility issues along the road.
The visibility issues on the highway. I've learned that people have green lights now because that's a thing. I was unaware that we were allowed to even do that.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, if you are driving out there this morning, please do be careful on that highway. I've learned that fog doesn't mean that it's going to be hot. Fog is just fog at this point. I just wait until the folks at the Met Service tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
But it was a good weekend, a very relaxed weekend for me. One of the very few times I get to say that on this show.
Well, for me, Saturday was eventful. I'll say that much. Yeah. And then I spent yesterday, before I get back to Saturday, I'll talk about what I did personally yesterday. So I was able to sit through a documentary on Milli Vanilli, right?
Okay. This is okay.
Okay, so you gotta understand the time period that I'm from, right? And so in late 80s, early 90s. By the way, I'm big on nostalgia.
I'm not judging. I'm really interested in this.
I won't put a time stamp on myself just quickly, but I'm big on nostalgia. Nonetheless, so I was able to sit through this documentary yesterday, and I was completely enthralled by the story behind Rob Pilatus and Fabrice Morvan. Both of them formed Milli Vanilli, and the whole ruse that they pulled off on the world. Now, I was too young back then to fully understand the situation of lip syncing and all of these other things, and the fact that they did not even write any of the songs that went
viral.
Yes,
but you know, it's so interesting, and I'm glad you brought it up. I know it's not a what's buzzing topic, but the reality is that now in our era, nobody really thinks about the lip syncing part.
You would recall though, there was an incident with Taylor Swift.
Yes.
On Saturday Night Live, I believe it is.
Cardi B or something like that.
Several. It has happened repeatedly since, but Milli Vanilli, they were the ones who were sort of the scapegoats. They
took the fault.
The whipping boy,
for
this kind of thing. But I digress. I digress. So the second thing that I did yesterday was also watch another documentary on Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay.
Yes, Buried Alive.
So that is very like a 180.
Polar opposites,
completely
right?
different.
But it's because I love reading and literature as much as I love music and documentaries. So that was yesterday. But on Saturday, I was in Lemonal and I was also in Crooked Tree.
Okay.
For the first annual, I'll say, race. It's a canoe race similar to La Ruta Maya.
I was listening to it on the radio,
from the Crooked Tree Lagoon all the way up river to Lemonal and back. And at the end of the race, slim and trim like mango limb, guava limb, I should say. were the ones who came out on top.
It's a canoe race.
Yeah.
Do you know the route?
Well, and this is what's interesting, because if I'm not mistaken, the tributary of the Belize River traverses through that area of Lemonal, Upper Belize District, and it comes through the Crooked Tree Lagoon in that area. So there's a waterway that obviously connects the lagoon to the upper part of the Belize District via the river.
Yeah.
And so, yes. So that was the road. Up and
how long did they take, more or less?
Well, I believe several hours, to be quite honest. I wasn't clocking the time per se, you know, but suffice to say that quite a number of people came out to look and spectate, and it has the potential. As much as, you know, a lot has been invested in growing Rutamaya, this also has the potential.
Well, I like this because this is very grassroots community based. Would you be able to know, like, the organizers of the event and so on?
No, unfortunately, well, to be quite frank, I did not attend
to investigate. You went
as a reporter.
Okay.
I did not. You know, it was one of those things I just wanted to be a spectator.
How did you find out about it?
It was being advertised, actually, several weeks prior to the actual event, so I knew of it. But like I said, I didn't, you know, show up as a reporter and asking questions. I just wanted to be able to enjoy, you know, this entire activity on the river.
It's very, I like that we're talking about these kinds of sporting activities now, because at first it just used to be Rutamaya or the Bliss sail.
Or the regatta.
Yeah, the regatta. Right? And so those were the only two paddling or sailing or anything that's waterway sports competition that I knew about. But lately, and I'm not sure if this is just because it's becoming more mainstream or it is because of COVID, but I'm hearing more and more of these water sports happening now, and you have these young men that were a part of La Rutamaya that are now inserting themselves as in this particular sport. They're competing in other competitions as paddlers, as you know. And so I'm kind of happy to see that happening, because I know paddling is a sport internationally. There is an Olympic championship for this kind of sport, but at first it just used to be Rutamaya, which was like a 4-day river challenge of I don't even know how they do it. But
I just appreciate the idea of quote-unquote village life, right? Every so often we have to get away from the city, from the urban center, and experience other parts of the country that are rural. And in this case, you know, part of that cultural experience is the food, you know, just being around other people who share some of the same, you know, interests in terms of that entire experience. I really appreciate you say that, because like I said, if this is a community-based competition or challenge or what have you, it could potentially grow the local tourism in the community, which I am a huge fan of. So I don't know who won, but kudos to whoever won the competition. I'm sure you'll have that investigation in tonight's newscast. Yeah, we'll look into it. We'll look into it.
But yeah, I really like that. The last time I went into something like that was Rutamaya, and I don't know if it was to you I said it or to somebody else, but I appreciated that I went to I think it was Double Head Cabbage, and everybody was racing to the riverside to see the Rutamaya, but the rest of the village could not be bothered. Like they have seen this so many times. This is something that happens annually. They were all at the cricket field watching a cricket match. That was their focus for that day, and I so love that.
Cricket is a religion. It's a way of life for the residents in the rural north or other parts of the country.
I think that as Belizeans, I mean, there's a whole historical, cultural conversation we could get to with cricket, but it's only seen in certain parts of Belize, and there's a reason for that. And so I enjoy just being able to experience the fact that the rest of the country is focusing on one thing, and this place just, all right, we're going to go watch our cricket match. I really like that.
They take it very serious. They take it very
You play?
serious.
You ever tried?
No. I'm a fan of cricket to a certain extent. I'm not as versed as perhaps other people who grew up around the sport, but I'm familiar with it. I'm saying that they take it very serious because, yeah, many a rushing of the mound has taken place when people don't, you know, play fair.
Oh, okay. In any sport, really. But yes, that's just one of the topics that I think was really cool to cover this morning, Isani. But as I was driving over and just thinking about life and life choices, and this was my What's Buzzing topic that I wanted to cover.
Sounds like a long drive, man.
It's an hour of just me in the car. What do you think is going to happen?
Some deep reflection.
Deep reflection, indeed. And it was a conversation that I think we've been having a lot lately, but more frequently now. And I think it's because I'm going into that stage of my adult life where I'm trying to set roots, right? But man, renting a home or trying to get a mortgage in this economy is very, very difficult. And I know that I think Paul did a story on it, but I wasn't really too focusing on that story. I was just focusing on the fact that as a single female who I would pride myself in being well educated and have a successful career, can't afford a space of my own. For the fact that perhaps student loans, for the fact that, you know, maybe the pay scale is not where I wished it would be after a student loan or so on, that I cannot afford a space of my own in Belmopan or in Belize City or wherever my jobs are. And so I was thinking about that because I said, man, I really wish that I could have a space of my own. My childhood room can no longer hold all of my accoutrements that I have gathered over the past few years. All my artifacts. But you know, so I was thinking about that, and I thought about Paul's story, and I was wondering if other people shared that same sentiment. It's a very different time from when my parents were trying to look for a space, and I know that there was inflation and recession happening long before I was born, but I feel it more intensive now, and I'm not sure if it's because more people my age are getting student loans that they can no longer afford and are trying to get an education instead of getting a job first after they finish their first 2 years of college or so. But all of that takes, of course, time and money. When we get to be 30, when we think that we're at a space where we can afford a home or rent a home, we're shocked at the fact that it's not as simple as we thought it would be. Well,
I think, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that we all come from different socioeconomic backgrounds, and our economic realities may be different person to person. So I think that's the first thing that I want to put out there. Some of us are fortunate that, you know, our parents, you know, incur the cost of our education all the way through. And some of us are equally fortunate to be able to perhaps inherit or be able to receive through an estate or what have you, properties.
Yes.
So those of us who are in that category don't necessarily feel it, so to speak.
Indeed.
We understand, but we may not necessarily be able to relate to the actual experience of either renting or purchasing a house for the first time, and so on and so forth. I think, from my point of view, and I'm being as clear and as rational as possible in terms of my observation, I think that yes, there is a situation on the domestic market where inflation and the overall cost of living has driven up the rent. This is across the country, but more so in specific areas. If you're talking, for instance, Belize City, San Pedro, and all the other economic or commercial centers, then you will have a higher rent to pay versus if you're somewhere else.
Right.
That's one. In terms of home ownership, as first-time homeowners, and I'm looking at the younger population, I think it's a matter of priority, notwithstanding some of the challenges that we all face, right? I think what bothers me is when I look at young men and women who come out of school right? More so those who are fairly well educated. If I say up to tertiary, then you come into the world of work at a certain level.
Right.
I think what bothers me is when I look at these young folks and they don't necessarily have their priorities in order. And I'm not saying that we haven't been through that.
Right.
I mean, as a young man a couple of years ago, I could remember, wilding out, But my reality, as I'm saying, is different than yours and so on and so forth. But the meat of the matter, as far as I'm seeing it, is that, when young people come out, they are not looking at what's going to take place down the road to say, you know what, I need to get me a nice job. I need to be able to establish myself in my career and then make plans for family. Because you have to have an idea of where you're going to be able to begin to accomplish these dreams or and make incremental steps towards achieving it. I'm saying that, April, because look, at the end of the day, I think home ownership is the ultimate goal. At some point, you'll get tired of renting, leasing, so on and so forth, or just sharing space or whatever the arrangement may be. You would want to have your own space. And so when you have your mind set on that, you begin to make certain moves in that direction. And it's difficult if you're spending money on vehicles. The value depreciates the moment you drive it off the lot. Right. Particularly for those of us who may not be able to afford a brand new vehicle off the lot. We're buying a pre-owned vehicle.
And getting loans for our vehicle too is,
versus what you paid for the vehicle itself and driving off, there's already a depreciation there.
Agreed.
And so you won't be able to get back for the vehicle what you borrowed from the bank, right? But if you're prioritizing and you're telling yourself, okay, let me start building a house. Well, chances are that the value of that only appreciates over time. But like I said, this is my opinion, this is my observation over time. You have to be in that frame of mind to be able to pursue that. You have to be very, very religious to that as well. Because a lot of people start and then something happens along the way and they discontinue, right? A lot of people borrow loans and are unable to pay it back. And then they end up going back to renting or going back to living with their parents and so on and so forth. But that's just my humble 2 cents.
No, I definitely agree with you, and you're absolutely right. I believe you, I don't know if it was you and Sabrina, but we're having this conversation already with where you spend your monies, right? But also, and this is just my observation watching the same generations that are growing. And I'm thinking about it from, yes, a young adult perspective, but also the perspective of a former educator and so on. When you're asking these children that are growing up, this new generation that are growing up, what they want from life or what they're looking forward to. It's like when you go to a job interview, Isani, and they say, where do you see yourself in 5 years? When you have that, I don't know, miss, right? And the
you never give it much thought to
but that's a blatant reality for most young people, and I don't think that what we do when we are raising children, not just as parents but as society, we want to keep your children as innocent as possible, right? And give them all the things, and then when they hit a milestone of teenage years, adolescent years, they're in high school, they're trying to get that high school diploma, etc. But we're not talking to them about life. We're not talking to them about life choices, taxes, all of these things that we know are coming as when they get into the real world. And I think that as a society we have failed the younger generation. In my society as well, when I was growing up, nobody told me how difficult it would be, right? And I think those are the conversations that we should have so that they don't stutter when you ask them what they want from life or where they see themselves in 5 years. Do you want them to have a plan and an idea? If that's if you can do that, if you can have that conversation. Some people can't even afford to have that conversation.
I'll end by saying this, April. A lot of us live in a glamorized and fictional world. Where if you ask the average young person, hey, what's up? What do you aspire towards, or what's your next move? What's your next step? What's your goal? It's either a concert ticket
Yeah. Yeah.
it's either you know, a suit of clothes, a phone, or a vehicle or stuff, and yeah, you know. Thankfully, I come from a different era. To some extent, I am influenced by that. We're all humans, we see things, but at the end of the day, you know, some of the values and the priorities that we were raised on, at least for me, remains the same. That is the pillar.
It's scary how the globalized world has made information so much easier for us to access, but we're still not accessing the information that is important and relevant for us to grow.
You look for what you want.
That's true. And the algorithm will give you exactly what you want, which is very, very scary. But nevertheless, I just needed to have that conversation. I had this in my head driving up, and I said, okay, I really need to talk about home ownership, because what do we do? Anyways, I want to wrap up what's buzzing. I know that I don't know if you know this show, Isani. I was very surprised when I saw the news. I used to watch Friends.
Oh, when Matthew Perry, the passing of Matthew Perry over the weekend. Yes.
He was, and that's what he's known for most, right? His role in that sitcom, Friends. I don't know if you watched it. Okay, I put this out there.
Of course I did.
Okay.
Come on, man.
I have to ask. I don't know.
Okay, so there are a few actors, comedians whose one-liners are like the best, and Matthew Perry was one of them, and Jerry Seinfeld was the other.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In terms of the writing and in terms of how they're able to deliver these quips deadpan, amazing stuff. Yeah. But I don't know what happened in respect of Matthew Perry.
Very young.
I know that, you know, again, growing up as a child into my teenage years and what have you, the number of episodes in all of the seasons of Friends perhaps were 200 plus. And a lot of times, because again, I love writing, I love you know, the spoken word, I used to, you know, stop in for the one-liners. So,
no, it was very shocking, and I think not just because he's famous is the reason why it was shocking, but also the age.
Yeah, 54.
It's very, very young. I think that we're talking a lot more of these younger deaths more and more too often, I think. And so just I'm very surprised. I love that show. I really liked his character because I find myself to be a sarcastic person as well. And so it came with that shock. But if you were somebody that was a fan, you know, I'm pretty sure this news was also shocking to you as well. And I guess we're going to find out more as to what occurred. Is these mysterious, quote unquote, mysterious deaths in Hollywood.
When you're in the media, sarcasm is your best friend.
It absolutely is, and I'm so happy you said that, because how can you survive if you take everything literal? It's going to be the end of you, really and truly.
All right.
But as we move on with the show for this morning, we will bring to you what we bring to you every Monday morning, which is our Eye on the News.
Our Eye on the News this morning will be a rather brief one. I'll dedicate it to the young girls who returned from Panama on Friday evening. Those high school students from Palote who excelled in the Samsung Challenge that they attended. And, you know, regrettably, their story was buried at the end of the newscast, not by choice, it's because of what time they were able to, you know, clear customs and everything at the airport and all of that. But first of all, kudos to these young ladies and their coach. Again, I'll say this, and it's not a slight on any other secondary school or any other student movement. It's great to be able to give focus on another school here, where we're looking at these young ladies involved in the sciences, right? The entire STEAM program, and seeing them be able to make the best of their time away. Now, a few weeks ago, these young ladies were on the couch with us here on Open Your Eyes, and it's what I would describe as sort of like a motley crew, right? You have different standards, you know, I say standards, like freshman, sophomore, third, so on and so forth. And you have different young ladies from different walks of life that forms this group that, you know, were able to come up with a technology, I'll describe it loosely as such, that deals with persons who are visually impaired and how they're able to navigate and maneuver without seeing, but with this piece of device that allows them to detect where obstacles are and so on and so forth. And at that age, I say age roundly, simply because they're all teenagers, right? At that age, for them to be able to have this knowledge, this hunger to research and come up with these ideas. And then pitch it to the world. I say pitch it to the world because Samsung is a global corporation, right? And to be able to share your ideas and your thoughts with them in terms of technology is a wonderful thing. I didn't have that growing up, you know. The only STEM I knew was stem cells and plant stems and so on and so forth.
Right.
And the only steam was what came out of your iron, right?
Yeah, same.
But yes, I mean, this is exemplary in terms of seeing young people put their knowledge to use and to work. And again, kudos to Pallotti for being able to allow these young ladies to shine in that regard.
I'm so proud of these young ladies. I believe the interview with Science and Tech Director Namrita Balani, she said that it was so quick that they were given this invitation, and in 2 weeks these girls had to come up with something. And in my mind I said, that how long does it take you to come up with an idea and to carry it through, you know, and then to win in a competition so
that is as broad
as
a competition that is as broad as other high schools across Latin America
and the Caribbean, and it was insane. And I appreciated the growth of these young ladies in such a span of so many months. I spent some time with them. I was looking at how they were making this this particular device, and they seemed so in tune with the device itself. Like the competition was kind of far away from them. They just wanted to ensure that the tech worked, and they were so proud to share it with other people. And they were not, you know, the competition itself, once they realized it was coming and they were feeling the pinch of that awareness that the competition is almost here, that's when you see the nerves kind of kick in a little bit. But listening to how they were being interviewed on the couch versus how they were being interviewed after they won was a completely different personality change, and I'm so proud of them. All four of them are wonderful stars, and we expect more from them to come, right? Another gold medal for Belize. I'm very happy for the future, Isani.
And this is the thing, we have so many intelligent young men and women, adults too, in our Belizean society. It's just that oftentimes we probably get caught up with looking at what others are doing elsewhere in the world and not necessarily focusing on the crop of talent that we have here at home. And so a platform like this where we get to shine and show the rest of the world what we're capable of doing, I think sets a particular tone, not only for the country but for others in the region that are looking to Belize.
I think it also puts a challenge on any government that comes into play, how to keep our bright minds here, because at the end of the day, you don't want that these kinds of brilliant minds leave us, which is, well, we know we experience brain drain all the time, but even in our generations, we have seen brilliant minds leave the country and of course excel elsewhere because of opportunity, right? So we challenge now our leading governments and our persons in power to make sure that there are waves where these girls can shine brighter. And
I must give credit where credit is due as well. When you look at the Ministry of Education et al., the work that they've been doing in terms of promoting sciences and what have you. I was able to speak with the Minister of Education casually over the weekend. He was also at the same event that I attended. And when you hear that sense of pride in these young women, in young people on a whole that are interested in engineering, in math, in science and technology and all these other related subjects, and being able to create the opportunities for them to be able to excel in that particular area of academia. It's good stuff. We're at an excellent point in time.
I believe I will take the words from Director Balani and say I'm biased as well, because I'm so happy that they're all girls.
and can't go wrong with that.
I mean, girls in any kind of science and tech field, it's still a low number.
Yeah.
So to see them all being girls, to see them all win, and just to put that effort, I am beaming with pride. Yeah. I'm so happy for them, and I can't wait to see what they won, because remember, they didn't even know what they were competing for. They were just in a competition.
They were happy to be there.
Indeed, but this is a huge win for Palote, and congrats once again.
I'll also say congratulations, and with that we'll end our Eye on the News this morning. Certainly details of these stories and more you'll be able to catch live at 6 on Channel 5, or if you are unable to catch it on your television sets, well, you can certainly get the content streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. But that does it for our Eye on the News this morning.
We're moving into our general weather forecast for today. Sunny, like I mentioned, it was seemed to be a very cool morning. I didn't even put on my fan last night. That's how cool it was. Yeah. But we have to check in with the folks at the Belize Meteorological Service to find out the forecast for today. I'm hoping that it's going to rain. I don't know if it rained here over the weekend.
Yes, it did.
It did, right? It did. It rained in Belmopan as well. So let's see what the folks have to say. We have forecaster Shania Young on the line. Good morning, Shania.
Good morning.
Good morning. It was very rainy this weekend, on and off in certain parts of the country. So give us that general situation for today.
So mainly fair weather will prevail over the area, at least for the next day or two. So the dry conditions has decreased over most areas so far. And so the 24-hour forecast is just for sunny skies with a few cloudy spells and only isolated showers.
All right. And how does that affect our marine conditions? Let's talk about the winds.
So the winds for today and tomorrow will be light and variable, and this will lead to just light and slight sleets.
All right. And our temperatures for today are highs and lows?
High temperatures today along the coast will be 86 degrees Fahrenheit, inland 89 and 78 up in the mountains. And tonight's low temperatures will be 76 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 72 inland and 68 in the hills.
Ooh, I like those numbers. And our extended forecast for Tuesday and Tuesday night?
So in terms of weather conditions, a similar pattern is expected with just fair weather and isolated showers. However, the temperatures wouldn't be as low as today. It will warm up a bit tomorrow.
All right. Seeing as our neighbors in Mexico just went through a Cat 5 hurricane, are there any watches, advisories, or warnings for today?
So we don't have any advisories or warnings currently, but there is an area of low pressure over the Eastern Caribbean Sea. In the next 48 hours, it has a very low chance of developing, but in the extended, the next 7 days, it has a medium chance of becoming a tropical depression, and that's looking like this weekend around maybe Saturday or Sunday. So we are closely monitoring that system because currently on the forecasted path, they have it moving towards the west. So if it continues, then we can get some rain this weekend. And then also gradual development is expected from the system, so we're closely monitoring it. But in the next 2 days, it has a low chance of developing into a tropical cyclone.
All right. Thank you so much, Shania, for that update. And do stay dry yourself.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, there is that weather forecast. I like the numbers. I like that it's not 90 or 3 digits. But we are going to move into our eye opener for today as we bring you this motivation. Isani, would you do the honors this morning? And,
my pleasure.
Read this eye opener for today, taken from dailyom.com.
It goes as follows. Our actions shape our lives, but what we don't take action on can be just as powerful. Life is sculpted on a moment-to-moment basis. Every one of the thoughts we think, the words we speak, and the actions we take contributes to the complex quality and character of the universe's unfolding. It simply is not possible to be alive without making an impact on the world that surrounds us. Every action taken affects the whole as greatly as every action not taken. And when it comes to making the world a better place, what we choose not to do can be just as important as what we choose to do. It is wise to be somewhat selective about how and where we are using our energy in order to keep ourselves from becoming scattered. Not every cause or action is appropriate for every person. When a situation catches our attention, however, and speaks to our heart, it is important that we honor our impulse to help and take the action that feels right for us. It may be offering a kind word to a friend, giving resources to people in need, or just taking responsibility for our own behavior. By doing what we can, when we can, we add positive energy to the world. And sometimes it may be our one contribution that makes all the difference.
I like it, but I find that it's also contradicting at the same time. It says, and sometimes it may be our contribution that makes all the difference. That was the last line, but it begins with our actions shape our lives, but what we don't take action on can be just as powerful. So it's good to do something, but also good to do nothing?
I don't interpret it like that.
Okay.
I look at it as, look, when you decide to take action, there are certain consequences.
Right.
When you decide not to take action, there are equal consequences. Because sometimes we find ourselves in the middle of a situation where a decision has to be made either way.
Yeah.
Right? And a decision at times, if it's not properly thought out, is essentially a risk you're taking, stepping in a particular direction. But if you don't take a decision, if you're undecided or you're being indecisive about the situation that you're in, then that too has its own set of consequences. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
Now, to what you're saying, how do we know in any particular moment that what we do for someone, even if it's the smallest thing that we're doing for that person, changes the shape of what they're going through in that moment? We don't lend a listening ear, we just lend a helping hand, but we're not in our mind thinking that, you know what, this may be that turning point in that person's experience that they're going through.
You might not know that just by being there, you're doing a wealth of good for somebody. That's true. But I really liked it. It was very motivating for me this morning. I feel like, when they say that you do so many positive things and the one negative thing is the thing that you focus on the most, I feel that this particular eye-opener makes me want to focus on the other positive things, even if it's just sitting and listening and being there. So wherever you are this morning, be sure to take your actions wherever they are. You might just be as powerful as you might not think you are. So
wherever you are, optimism is the order of the day.
Are you an optimistic person, Isani?
I try my best to be. Yes. A tinge of sarcasm here and there allows me to be able to see the light.
I like that. I appreciate that. But moving on with our show for this morning, yes, be positive. Our first conversation will be with the Minister of Tourism. Minister Anthony Mahler will be here to give us an update on the tourism industry.
Our second conversation this morning is with a group of guys who are actors in a movie that will be aired on BET. Okay,
and I believe one of these actors was already in a Netflix movie prior to this one. And we're going to be wrapping things up with the upcoming International Film Festival. I feel like this morning's show is very themed because all of these different conversations are intertwined with some way or form of tourism and the orange economy. So I'm very I'm very happy for this morning's show. But we got to take the break. When we come back, it's all about an update on the tourism industry. Stay with us.
Get ready, babe. We're going on a vacation.
Finally, where are we going?
Don't worry, babe. I have we covered.
you sure you know where we're going?
Yes, babe. Oh, right there, see? Babe, the price is too good to be true. Me look much more better in that picture.
When life throws you a curveball, Belize Bank has your back. With our online financing, you can turn any vacation mishap into a dream getaway.
Cheers to Belize Bank for making our dream vacation a reality.
Thanks to you, babe, to turn things around.
No thanks to you, cheapo.
Ouch.
Experience the future of financing with Belize Bank online, where you can secure funds for anything, from anywhere, at any time, all without stepping foot in a bank. Apply for a loan today and unlock a world of possibilities.
With the steady increase in prices, it's hard to hold on to your hard-earned cash. Well, here at Benny's, prices are steadily falling, making it easier to stretch your dollars. Prices are slashed on electrical products, LED lights, plywood, and wheelbarrows. Yes, we have the cheapest in town. And with X massive season going on right now, get store-wide discounts on select products from now through the summer 31st. Visit a Benny's store near you today, where the prices just keep on falling. Benny's, quality and savings.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
Welcome back. We have been joined this morning in studio by the Minister of Tourism and Diaspora Relations, none other than the Minister Anthony Mahler, who's going to be here with us to discuss all things tourism this morning. Good morning, Minister.
Good morning, guys. Morning, viewers and listeners out there.
How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Working hard.
Never a dull moment in the tourism industry, I
you can't have when you are almost 50% of the economy. That has to be a constant grind. That's always at the forefront of my mind and the people who work within the Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations. That we have a load to carry in terms of making sure this economy continues to move forward and grow in a sustainable way.
What I want to get into first and foremost is the most recent meeting that was held in Florida 2 Fridays ago. There was a sizable delegation that met with the FCCA, including Prime Minister John Briceño and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, yourself as well. Talk to us a bit about how that went, perhaps what was the major item on the itinerary?
Well, I'll be honest with you. A few months ago, I was in New York for a CTO meeting, Caribbean Tourism Organization meeting, and I met Michelle Page, who is the president of the FCCA, and she and I have been friends for about 25 years. We worked together when I was at the Belize Tourism Board the first time. And so she said, Anthony, you're the treat cruise tourism bad. I said, okay. I'll work out something and then I'll show that we're serious about it, that we want to ensure the members of your association that we're going to put in place the necessary stuff to ensure that we have a growth path, again, that is sustainable, because that is crucial for us.
But when you mean sustainable, and this, and I know that we toss the word very, very loosely.
No, I don't.
When it comes to tourism, our green economy, our blue economy, one of our biggest protective factors is that barrier reef. And so when we're talking about cruise tourism and bringing forth a large population of persons, what are the plans and measures taken to ensure that we are able to upkeep that protected barrier as well as to raise that tourism population?
And I agree with you 100%. I don't think enough Belizeans realize what we have in front of us for 180 odd miles. We should all be proud to have the world's largest living barrier reef, the second largest in the world overall. And we should be proud of that. All Belizeans, that is a magnificent thing to have in our territory. And not only that, but we have all the other assets that we have. But you talk about green and blue economy, there also should have sustainability built into our people. And so everything has to combine, or have to combine together. What we did when I first drafted the cruise ship policy 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we wrote into it a carrying capacity for the country. As the different activities and assets open up some more, then we have increased that capacity. And that's a part of it. We work closely with many of the NGOs to ensure that we are looking at these things with a microscope and that we're putting in place the necessary policies, programs, projects to mitigate any negative. Now, anytime you have people coming into an environment, there will be some degradation. But
because you have footprints.
Yeah, you have footprints, and you have to minimize that as much as possible. Right. But for the first time at the Belize Tourism Board, we have created a sustainable tourism desk, and that desk works along with the NGOs. We launched a Reef with a Beef campaign some months ago, and we want to showcase that this is an asset that the country has, that we have to take care of it, we have to manage it, and we have to utilize it as best as possible.
Let's go back a bit to the meeting with the FCCA. So perhaps it's the first of its kind high-level delegation that met with the stakeholders.
No, when I was at the BTB the first time, we led a delegation just like that.
Okay.
Except we didn't have the Prime Minister there. But high-level delegation. And we had a frank discussion at the meeting in Miami. We had the Minister of Environment, because that is important. We want the Minister of Port, that's obvious. The Mayor, because Belize City is important. The cleanliness, the feel, the look. Everything about Belize City is important. But just to go back to part of what you asked about sustainability, a large number of the guests who come in go on inland tours.
Right.
Right? So a smaller portion goes to the reef, or marine activities, I should say.
How are these measures being handled, or I should say are being handled at the moment? Because when you dock certain areas, you have to be able to maneuver persons safely through onto our shores. I know that cruise tourism is not our highest or our largest tourism economic factor, but how are you planning to grow that and also keep these spaces protected? I think that is my biggest question, because you have to be able to maneuver persons safely in and to ensure that everything is safe.
I don't think we have to worry about that.
Okay.
Because the sizes of the ships are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so the cruise lines have articulated to us clearly, and they articulated again in Miami, that they don't have any interest in tendering the large amount of people. It would take them an entire day and a half, no? And so we don't have to worry about that. Now, when a docking facility is built and completed, then we have to look at the absorptive capacity of the country in terms of the sites, attractions, how many people. For instance, right now we're working on a platform with Niche, or Institute of Archaeology, to sell tickets online, so you will know how many people can go at a site during a period of time. Those are simple things I think that you could put in place to manage crowds and crowding at the sites and attractions.
Shouldn't there be perhaps a race to build a berthing facility so that we can ensure the stakeholders outside of Belize that are in cruise tourism that we're serious about transitioning from tendering to onshore?
Depending on what type of race you are on, right?
One that is properly governed and organized,
you got 100 meters, you got 200 meters, you got 800, you got... I got a cousin in England who run 100 miles. Big up, Jordan. But 100 miles, so I think we have to get it right. We have to take our time, and we have to do what is in the best interest of the Belizean people. And that is what we have done.
So my question, Minister, this meeting was held against the backdrop that legislation is yet to be passed, enacted, to look at cruise development, in Belize. How receptive were the other participants to this idea that, well, we're here, we don't necessarily have a piece of law to show you just yet, but steps are being made in that direction?
Well, I don't think that the meeting and the piece of legislation being drafted go hand in hand, right? And it was discussed, but that was just one item on the agenda that was discussed. And so I think they understand that we're putting in place a piece of legislation that will govern the growth and development of the industry.
So go ahead.
Forgive me. My other question, though, is that, so this meeting is being held, but prior to the meeting, when we look at what's been taking place in the media with all the campaigns and all the noise that was being made around cruise tourism and what have you, did that in any way sort of either perhaps serve as a deterrent or discourage some of these people from coming to the table? When you look at what's happening in Belize, they're probably saying, well, wow, that's a controversial thing that's taking place. Maybe I want to be here, maybe I don't want to be a part of it.
The cruise industry has been controversial from its inception. Firstly, about the environment. They've put in a serious amount of work in reversing that type of view that people have on the cruise industry. So by 2030, they should be 50%. And then by 2050, they should be net zero in terms of the effluent and the pollution that they do. So nobody at the meeting said anything about the noise. They're used to that type of noise in other jurisdictions, whether it be Bahamas or Barbados, or they're used to that.
When it comes to not just the delegation, but your plans moving forward with the future of cruise tourism in Belize, why is this sole focus only in Belize City?
Why again?
Why must the port only be in Belize City?
Why do you think that is the situation? There's a port in Placenta called Harvest Key. There's one that we're seriously looking at Commerce Bight, but for smaller ships. So, but Belize City.
I ask it because the influx comes through Belize City, and you have certain areas in the south, in PG and in Corozal, that don't see as much traction.
They don't have the infrastructure as yet.
Okay.
So one of the plans also is to build a first-class marina at the border management facility in Punta Gorda, and we believe that that could attract yachts from Honduras, Guatemala, and the surrounding areas. So we have been looking at this strategically, but Belize City, it gives you easy access to a lot of the sites and attractions that you go to. It gives you easy access to marine attractions as well. The cruise lines have a timing that they work on, so the site should be somewhere between an hour max, like Zunantonage, some go to. But that's pushing it. When you have a docking facility, I think you would gain at least 3 hours more for those people to spend on land.
You'd be surprised how much time tendering takes in
right.
terms of standing in line to disembark, getting on the tender, coming to Belize City, going on your tour, come back and do the same thing all over again. It takes a huge chunk out of your tour time, so to speak. Minister, what I wanted to ask you, my final question on this particular topic is the contribution of the mayor to this entire conversation. Because while yes, Belize City is the primary port through which all cruise, well, many, save for Harvest Key, all of them come through Belize City to be able to explore inland destinations. What has been his take on all of this in terms of the experience of sitting around the table and getting a broader appreciation for what cruise tourism is?
Well, the mayor has always had a good understanding of what we need from the city to ensure that we have a quality tourism experience. And as you go out more and you talk to these high-level decision makers for those massive companies like the cruise lines are, and then I think it helps when he gets back to Belize and sits at his desk to ensure that the city is clean, the drains are clean, that we are putting in place some little projects like the painting. We did that with him at the Fort Street Tourism Village wall. Those things that you have points of interest where people we've been talking about some projects that we want to work on in Belize City and other parts of the country, and we've continuously dialogue with the mayor.
Well, we've talked a little bit about the blue and green and cruise tourism, but I wanted to shift focus on the orange economy. I know that the tourism industry is working its best to collaborate with the National Institute of Culture and History in order to boost that orange economy. The tourism industry has focused mostly on music industry so far in terms of the orange economy. What are the conversations looking like moving forward to focus on cultural creatives?
Well, we believe, and the Prime Minister believes, that that can be an important engine for economic activity in the country. Our artists, our musicians, all of these aspects and sectors play a crucial role in growing that. Music is only one. Just the other day we had an art competition for the entire country, and we believe in that. Soon at the Battlefield Park we'll have I think 12-foot statue of George Price, and then we'll put the heroes in there just to showcase our history. We're looking at some pieces of Mayan, Garifuna, and all the cultures that we have to place in strategic locations throughout the country. So music and entertainment, we created a music and entertainment strategy for Belize with a group called Song Diplomacy out of England, and we're in the process of rolling that out now.
How do these incentives assist the cultural communities in which you are gaining these attractions from?
They help. I mean, equipment, those things are expensive, and so when you have incentives for them, there are tools needed to produce quality work. I think that's a part of a growing industry, and the incentive should play a role in having people move to the next level. That's why we invested in the music studios, and we'll build one in the Cayo district and one in Dangriga within the next couple of months.
We'll get back to the music aspect in a bit. What I want to shift to is the state of the overnight tourism. Notwithstanding the numbers, though, I want to know where we are in terms of new initiatives to build overnight tourism, the platforms and the resources being afforded to persons who want to get into that sector, either as investors or either as persons who want to learn more about the overnight sector.
For me, I have spent a lot of time focusing on building back airlift into the country, which feeds into the overnight sector. We have spent a lot of time working with some of the brands, developers, and financiers to ensure that we get additional rooms from those works. We're seeing interest in Belize City and other parts of the country. But it takes time. All these things take time. And we are showing the world that, like the Prime Minister says, that we're open for business. The investment conference is also important for us, and we work and collaborated with that ministry to ensure that we executed the tourism part of it. And so the goal is to continue to build airlift. Once you have airlift, you need more rooms, and they go in parallel, hand in hand. And so those two aspects have been our focus. Akin to that, focusing on yachting. For the first time this year, we'll get our first mega yacht, 120 foot, that will be resident here for a few months. I know some people are, I believe in the States or somewhere right now, talking to some of the yacht brokers and trying to get more yachts to come to Belize again, to ensure that we have sustainability and our natural resources are protected. We worked with a company out of London to upgrade all the charts for Belize so that yachters and boaters
the channels and stuff.
That's right.
I know that you asked about overnight tourism, and I know that most of the time when we were looking at wonderful commercials and such as the video that was being launched, I think a couple of weeks ago, spectacular, beautiful. If I was an international tourist, would totally come, right? But I wanted to look at local tourism, and are there any movements and in terms of how we can reach out to our own Belizean people to look at these places. I have met persons that have never been outside of their district, and we want to promote Belize as an ambassador everywhere you go. So are there any projects or conversations to promote local tourism?
Well, that has always been big on our agenda. Actually, the flows of tourists, local Belizean tourists traveling throughout COVID helped sustain many of the properties.
Yes, indeed.
And so the same thing with the people in the diaspora. They have an affinity for Belize. So they came back a lot during that time and helped to keep many of the properties just barely surviving.
But here's the thing, Minister, and I'm glad you raised that, because while yes, we pretty much floated the local tourism economy during COVID, and there were steals, deals, everything you could think about then. And I know that in tourism, there's a high season and a low season.
Well,
I don't think they got that anymore.
I prefer to call what you call the slow season, the green season.
The green
season,
so,
fair enough.
So people, because there's an issue that I've been discussing with the stakeholders over the last month or so, that I've been traveling around in each major destination, talking to the stakeholders, that when you have a tourism industry, and I know the month of October is one of the hardest months in terms of the business slowing down, you can't have operations shutting down. The other day I went to Hopkins and the vast majority of properties were closed. That doesn't work for wholesalers and operators working internationally. And so I am challenging the industry that we're going to, just like how July has now become like January, we want to see August, September and October primarily looking like more of a peak period.
The reason I'm asking that question is because, okay, so there's a green season as you've mentioned, right? Perhaps more should be done to encourage local travel during that time. And I know some would argue and say, well, Belizeans come with their own issues in terms of the use and upkeep of facilities and what have you, but perhaps not all of us are like that. And I say that because I've heard that complaint from hoteliers and restaurateurs, that when they open up to Belizeans, they prepare for all kind of, unwanted things, so to speak. But it's part of encouraging local movement, local traffic. It's not all about, and I understand and I appreciate the importance of attracting the outside visitor, but people in Belize want to be able to experience some of those same amenities, luxuries, and what have you.
Agreed. And so we've worked closely with the industry to give what we call the Belizean rate. We have a campaign called the Belizean Traveler Campaign, showcasing all of Belize, or as much of Belize as possible. And Belizeans traveling throughout the country, that's an important market for us to ensure that we have, again, sustainability and growth in the industry.
I asked about the cultural communities initiatives and incentives because I believe a while back there was that 6-episode show with Chef Sean Quillen, highlighting certain parts of the country, particularly the food and the people. But majority, and I think you'll notice that most of my questions go hand in hand in terms of uplifting smaller cultural communities, because when COVID came, it wasn't just the big industries that got affected. The person would braid hair up on the street, the person would make drum, the person would do the charm bracelets and so forth. All of these people got affected and had to figure out jobs elsewhere. So, and those are the people that create the culture that you commercialize, and therefore, are there any moves to continue to assist those persons? When you go to places like Hopkins, that's a huge cultural community. The big tourism attractions are on Almond Beach, and then you have maybe some small shops here and there, but the upliftment of Hopkins is not where I personally think it should be. So are there any movements from the tourism industry to make sure that the communities where these big spaces, these big tourism spaces are being uplifted in the same way?
Well, the vast majority of businesses in the tourism industry are, according to global standards, considered small. Probably we have maybe 10 properties and businesses around the country that would be considered extremely large, right? But the vast majority are considered small and micro and small enterprises and medium enterprises.
Right.
And so, yes, we focused on that. We lobbied the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Finance to ensure that there is a piece of legislation to support that sector, that crucial component of the industry. We have the Garifuna Trail project that we're working on with IDB. Creating that corridor. We have some grant program that we've worked on. There's going to be financing available, I believe, at the DFC soon for that sector. But the vast majority of businesses in the tourism industry are considered small. We have probably about 900 hotels with 9,000 rooms, so the average size would be 10. And the same thing with our tour operations, relatively small operations compared to what you would experience outside or see outside of Belize. And they play a crucial role in the growth and have played and continue to play a crucial role in the growth and development of tourism. So we have the necessary programs. Within the next couple of weeks, we will start a specific program for small and small hotels and small businesses in the tourism sector.
Wonderful.
I know we have a limited time with you here on the couch, so I have a couple more things I want to throw at you. Speak to us about where we are with the drafting and review of the legislation that should govern and oversee cruise tourism development in this country. Well, as a cabinet minister, where are we with that?
It's in the final stages. We're still ventilating it. So we want something that would go well with the Belizean people, obviously. It has to be in the best interest of Belize. And so we continue to do so in terms of our discussion. And we will ensure that we put that piece of legislation sooner rather than later.
When you look at what was the definitive agreement, and you look at the fact that that had the input of the Ministry of Economic Development, you're looking now at a piece of law that is very much pertinent to your ministry, seeing as though it deals with tourism development. What has been the input of your ministry in terms of either putting its ideas to paper with respect to this law?
Well, we have looked at the legislation very carefully, and we have given our input as well. So I am yet to see the final draft, but when I see that piece of legislation or the draft legislation, then I'll continue to give my input.
Following up on that, Minister, there seems to be perhaps a standstill right now in terms of what's been taking place at Stake Bank, what's been taking place with Port Magical, what's been taking place with Port of Belize. Where are we with that? Because the silence seems as deafening as all the noise that was being made a couple of months ago.
Well, I spoke to Troy Gab the other day, and he said they're working on getting additional financing and completing certain construction work that is needed for them to continue with that project. Port of Magical is a part. They want to see the legislation completed first before they start. And then Waterloo, well, that hasn't passed environmental clearance. So we wait. I don't have anything to do with ports specifically. My ministry is responsible for putting ships at the ports and to give advice to government and cabinet to say, well, we have to look at this strategically here, there. No, we don't want it there because I think that piece of real estate or the impacts that it would have on that area wouldn't work out. And so all I can do is advise, right?
As we're wrapping up this morning's conversation, Minister, you say we're in the Go Slow Green season. What are the plans for 2024 in your ministry that we should look forward to?
I want to use this time to bring up an issue that we really have to, and collectively as a people, we have all this magnificent natural resources that God has blessed us with. And every single place I go, I see garbage all over the place. It's disgusting. I was told...
It's an issue of civic pride.
That's right, and we started a civic pride campaign with the farmer Miss Earth and Dr. Villanueva, going into the schools, educating our people. But I was told that there's a sign in Chetumal, and someone told me that they're going to take a picture of it. That in Mexico they're calling us nasty, pretty much. And it's something that we battle with every single day. MIDH, and it is a passion for Julius in terms of keeping the place clean. All of us, not only the highways, but in our communities. Next year is a big thing for us. I have people going to Kigali right now. They're on their way there. And we're going to announce at that meeting for the World Travel and Tourism Council that Belize will be hosting the first ever Global Sustainable Tourism Awards.
Oh, wow.
That is supposed to be announced in COP28 as well. And so it's a big thing. There's going to be another spotlight on Belize. But if then people drive from the airport and come right a bit more, sip on the roadside, are garbage everywhere. We have no pride. If we joke about it and we say that, oh, for we people go to Chetumal and not trade, but now the sign they say otherwise, right? Why is it okay for them to do it here? We clean up. We spend a lot of money cleaning the highways and hot spots that are identified. And the next day, though, the same garbage are right there again. Now, I know the entire process of the garbage management or waste management needs to be vastly improved. But I think we have to collectively as a people look into ourselves, look in the mirror and say, man, again, we have a relatively small piece of real estate, but with the assets that we have been given by God, I really think we have to do much better. So I want to call out the entire country and do your part.
It requires a serious cultural and behavioral shift.
Yes,
because
nasty.
Yes,
fair enough.
But it's a cultural problem to do it here and to think it's okay to do it here.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we don't have the capacity to put something in the bin. It's just that for some reason we're okay with up on the bus, we eat with Ideal and chips, and instead of putting it in our bag.
Because culturally we've begun to think that it's okay to do so.
Yes.
So to break that, it takes a mental shift, right? You have to tell yourself, you know what? We are better than this, especially if we're looking at what you're saying. We're going to be hosting this major award, and then people are going to come here and see that there's garbage everywhere. It starts with us, right? It starts with the mind, right? Minister, my final question for you. The last time we had you on the set was a few weeks before the Belize International Music and Food Festival. It's been several months since, and we're trying to get some accountability in terms of where we are with the monies that were spent, how they were spent, and what, if any, profit was made from that particular event.
For this one, there was no profit made. The weather caused a lot of issues. At the end of the day, we invested somewhere around maybe $250,000 to $300,000. I call it an investment. It did not make a profit. So, but all in all, it's a growing program, and we believe that it can be a crucial part, especially in the slower part of the season. And we continue to support other festivals, the Chocolate Festival, the Drum Fest, all of these things. We believe that if we continue to invest in, that they can play a crucial part in the cultural experience for Belize.
How are, and I know we're wrapping up, but in terms of this particular festival, you know, there are other festivals throughout the Caribbean and Latin America that uplift their musical industry in that fashion. How is our festival any different? And I don't mean to say that it's, you know, it's like any other festival, but how is it different, and how are we advertising it and marketing to international persons to say, come to our music festival instead of going to Barbados or instead of going to Jamaica?
Well, it's different because it's being held in the most beautiful country on earth, right?
Yes, but you tell that to locals and we agree with you. How do you market that to other persons?
We market Belize, and then we say, look at these activities in these months, and you come depending on the activity you want. No, a lot of people come to Belize for November 19th. Now, I just spoken to the mayor, and they're saying, and the private sector down in Dangriga, that they don't have enough rooms.
Yeah, hotels
right?
done.
Book solid. So now we have to put in place certain infrastructure in Dangriga for them to now build on that November 19th experience and say, here what, you not only could get it November 19th, you could get it all year round, because this is us.
Yeah.
This is what we are, and that goes from Dangriga, Hopkins, Sea and Bite. We're building a beautiful cultural center for Sea and Bite, right on the beach. Believe it or not, Belize is one of the few countries in the world that I see we don't utilize our prime real estate as much as we should, right? Look at all the waterways that we have here in the country. Look at the bay in Corozal. All of these things need major upliftment for them to be a part of the tourism industry, for us to be able to monetize it. But I think that that Dangriga and with the Garifuna culture and all that they have down there can have their own tourism industry built down there. They have everything, I think, especially with the Commerce Bight port being built. Or reopened.
All right, Minister. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We hope that you come back before the end of the year to provide us with some more statistics on the state of our economy through the tourism industry. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And we are going to take a break, and kind of sticking to the tourism orange economy conversation, we're going to have the cast members from Paradise joining us this morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Every project has to start somewhere, and Brothers Habet's got you covered. We're the place for professionals because we understand success is built on quality and reliability. For the do-it-yourselfers seeking quality tools and materials to bring their out-of-the-box ideas to life, our paint department offers a kaleidoscope of hues to those looking to express their unique style. And for those seeking the perfect touch of elegance for their homes, we offer a curated collection of household fixtures and furnishings that caters to every taste. But what sets Brothers Habet apart is our exceptional customer service. Our employees go above and beyond to ensure that every customer's needs are met. We're here to see you through your building journey. Visit Brothers Habet and get started today. Or call or WhatsApp us for a quote. See you soon.
National Health Insurance is a government-funded program which purchases health services for the people, enabling Belizeans to access primary health care, screening and treatment of chronic diseases, laboratory tests, imaging, ophthalmology services, and quality medication at a fraction of the cost. Today, Belizeans are benefiting from a dynamic public and private sector partnership, which has seen NHI expand and grow in terms of available facilities, persons served, and services offered. Currently, there are 4 NHI clinics in Corozal, with 2 additional satellite facilities serving Libertad and Cristo Rey. In Belize City, there are 5 NHI facilities, with 1, the Mercy Clinic, catering specifically to the elderly. And in southern Belize, there are 4 NHI facilities, 1 in Dangriga, 1 in Independence, 1 in Punta Gorda, and 1 in San Antonio, all with satellite clinics to ensure the provision of NHI services in rural communities. In July, NHI will expand to the Orange Walk district, bringing the same quality of service and access to care that Belizeans have come to expect from our national insurance providers. At NHI, we are here to serve you. Register to become a valued member of our NHI family today. For more information, visit our website at www.nhi.bz or send us a message via our National Health Insurance Facebook page.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. Joining us for our second conversation are some Belizean actors, particularly from the movie Paradise. Joining us, we have in studio Wane Arzu and Dipo Ogunjobi.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
So before we get into the actual movie itself, I really want to hear the journey. And I know you both are influencers in your own right. I know Wane has been doing this for so many years. But why get into this particular career that seems almost difficult to break through in Belize? Let's start with you, Dipo.
Well, as everybody probably knows, I'm a Nigerian Belizean. I'm a Nigerian birth and Belizean by nationality. And I relocated to Belize in 2014. Yeah. And before coming to Belize, I've always been into acting. I've always been in the church doing some stage dramas and stuff like that. So when I got here, I was looking for opportunities, and I couldn't find a lot of stuff. So I decided to create my own stuff. So I started to use my phone or whatever opportunity I had or gadget I had to create stuff on social media. And then through social media is how we got noticed, and that was how I got noticed and got this calls and got this job. So I think acting has always been there since day one. I just needed the proper exposure, the proper equipment, and do it the proper way it's supposed to be done. And I'm happy since I got to Belize. Belize has given me numerous opportunities so far, and I'm looking forward to more. And I'm also grateful for the support because Belize is home, but if you look deep down, I still not find out, but I like that the Belizean people.
We've accepted you.
We've adopted you.
I love me the way I am. And you know, I've adopted everything. I speak the language. I do every single thing. Just like how.
You know, if you didn't say that you were Nigerian Belizean, just based on your skits alone, your accent is completely shaved.
Yeah, exactly.
No, for real. So that's a testimony to your skills.
Yes, exactly.
Right, as an actor. So how do you, being an adopted Belizean per se, how did you get into creating these Belizean skits?
Well, my videos are kind of they are pure comedy. I believe anybody that watches the comedy, they can kind of get what it is without anywhere from the country. I try to do it pure comedy and do it a general comedy, but I speak Belizean language in there, and I use subtitle. And I just think it's a better way to connect more with the Belizean people that rendering my video too. So when I started, I wasn't speaking as much Creole, but I had to learn it. I had to practice, and I got it.
Practice makes perfect.
Makes perfect.
In Creole, we say the ranga, the karaka. So the more you speak the language, the more you become fluent at it.
Yeah, I'm on my way to Spanish right now.
Nice.
Excellent.
You're broadening your linguistic.
Yes.
Let's go over to Wani and get Wani's story in terms of how you got involved with acting as well.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to say good morning and thank you guys for having us on the show. It's always a pleasure, talking with you guys, open your eyes. And so my journey, it's like April said, I've been doing this for years, right? It all started in elementary school, primary school, right? I always tell this story, right? Because this is dear to my heart. This is when I realized that I wanted to be an actor. I was probably in, standard 5, I think, standard 5, and over the weekend we were given an assignment to learn a poem. And the poem was entitled "Left Me A" by Patricia Sanchez. And I'm this type of person. I'm very goal oriented. I'm very determined. So when I was given that task, I spent the entire weekend learning this poem. And when I felt like I really got it down packed, I gathered my entire family, my mom, my dad, my siblings, and I brought them to the living room and I said, I want to recite this poem in front of you guys. And you guys tell me, so I recited the poem. And I remember the poem, right? So now ask me for recite it. I just remember the intro. The intro was "Left Me A" by Patricia Sanchez. You tell me if you go walk it to the States. A nice answer. I know a place where I hate. But then I feel to pen up. And I feel free. I can't take my stroll by the beach and watch the Caribbean Sea. Right? That all I remember.
That's the strongest part of the poem.
Right. So when I got done reciting the poem, I received a standing ovation from my family. Right? They were like, this is actually good. With the facial expressions, the body language and everything. So
the delivery.
Yes, the delivery, the presentation, everything was. So I went to school bright and early Monday morning. And I was actually anxious because I'm like, you know what? I got this. I'm ready. All the other students who went before me, they just, they bombed the poem recital. So I was like, you know what? I got this. So when it was finally my turn, because I take everything seriously, so when it was my turn, I went in front of the class and I recited this poem. And the teacher and the class, they were blown away, and before you knew it, I was reciting this poem in front of the entire school for assembly. And then I went to Chetama to recite the poem in front of another school, and then I entered the Festival of Arts with this poem. And I think I placed, if it's not first, it was first or second in the Festival of Arts. And from then that just sparked something in me to become an actor, and I just started from there. I went on to do a couple local commercials in Belize as well, and from there I took a brief hiatus because I went to school. I got my degree at the University of Belize. I have a bachelor's in management. So to all the kids watching this, Wani Watch was educated, Wani Watch is very educated, so stay in school. Stay in school, kids. And then from there, when I graduated, I decided to give it another shot. This was 2017 actually, and I was actually vacationing in the US, and a friend of mine was producing a television series, and he asked me to be like a background actor in this television series. Now, coming from Belize, you know, this was something very, very, very exciting for me on my behalf, because I'm like, I've never been a part of a professional set before. So when I got that opportunity, unfortunately the project fell through, but you know, that is something that really, really fueled me as well. So from there I just kept the ball rolling, and being in this industry, you have to know how to network. So you have to meet people and talk to people and build relationships with people. That's very important. So I was in the same circle amongst other entertainers in America, and you know, they were giving me advice on what to do and what not to do, being in the entertainment industry, and like from one thing led to another, and from there the ball just kept on rolling. I just kept on meeting people in high places, by the grace of God, and from there, before I knew it, I was on another professional set shooting a television series, and I was in a music video, and then I was doing a whole bunch of stuff in America. So yeah, this particular movie that is shot in Belize is not the only movie that you've done. I understand also that you're a part of a Netflix, is it a series? It's a feature film. Yes. So I mean, all of that to me, I mean, congratulations to you both. But how, you're talking about networking, but how do you even break through to get into a part of Netflix is everywhere. Netflix isn't just a Latin American or an American thing. This is an international platform. Right. So how did you even get a chance to be a part of this? Well, it all started like I said when I was in America, just meeting people in the right places. I met this casting director by the name of Marcella, and she was right in the middle of casting a whole bunch of projects, and like how did this work? Like, I met her on set of a movie that I was filming. I was a background actor, and she said, you know, you have a distinctive look. You have very, very, very distinctive features. Like, and I can definitely, well, this is what she said. She said you have a face for television, right? So she said, I'm gonna try to put you in as many projects as possible. Oh, wow. So this was actually a feature film that we shot in 2018. Yeah. So after we shot the film, because there's another Belizean actor in the film as well, his name is Garrett Bermudez. So after we shot the feature, we didn't hear anything from the producers or the directors, so I was thinking, you know what, maybe this fell through as well. There were rumors that it was supposed to be in theaters and stuff, but no word from it. And then fast forward to 2023, someone mentioned me in a story on Instagram, and they were like, oh, I noticed on Wanna Watch. And I was like, well, wait. Oh, Tyson's Run is on Netflix? And they didn't tell you? No. What kind of thing that? No. So even though I was just like an extra in the film, you know, a win is a win at the same time. But they don't tell you? No.
What I want to get is, how did you two begin working together? Where did collaboration come?
Well, at first, when I got to Belize, I started to do the skits and and stuff, and it was getting a lot of attraction. When you're talking about 50,000 people watching your videos in 2015, it's a lot compared to now. Yeah. So then I think I met one at Placencia. I met him at Placencia, and then we spoke, and then he said he does stuff. I'm like, okay, bro, let's do some stuff together. And then I invited him to Bemopan, and he came, and we started to make these contents together. And then since then we've grown together. He's grown a lot. He's been outside the country. I've done a lot here too in regards to some content. Just to mention Netflix as well, I was in Tragic Jungle. That is on Netflix. Yes. Yeah, that dude did me dirty in the film, but it's okay. It's okay. So this is also my second film that is going to be out there. So yes. One is, I always tell everybody, That one is like my brother from another mother. So
I actually started out being a huge fan of Dippo skits. You know, I was a huge fan.
So you guys are fans of each other?
Yes, because actually, I believe Dippo is like one of the pioneers for comedic content on social media, because when he started producing content and posting it on Facebook, no one in Belize was actually doing anything like that. So I was actually a huge fan, and when I first stumbled upon his videos, it was when I was out in America, and I was like, oh, I really like what is guy to do. So I reached out to him via Messenger, and I'm like, yo, bro, really like the content, you know, keep doing it, and I hope to be featured in one of your videos, one of the ideas. And then
now all of them that make content together now. It's great.
I think what you guys have essentially done is opened up a lane for other Belizean talent to be able to showcase their skills, not only in comedy, but in other forms of skit and content creation as well.
Exactly.
I think that's commendable.
Because there's different type of content creation. It does not have to be comedy. As long as you're posting something out there and people like what you post, then you can keep doing it. And another, when you talk about opening doors, we were talking before we came here, we were talking about monetization and stuff like that. And those are the doors that it's almost open, but it's getting there, because I believe content creators in Belize should get paid for what they put out there. So we need to, we get in there, but we can still do more for us to get noticed by the social media and get us what we deserve in Belize in regards to those content creation.
I think what is really special about you guys and this particular film is that the level of marketing that it's getting. It's not the first Belizean film by Belizean actors or even remotely being shot in Belize. This is one of many. But I think what sets the difference is that you both are very well known characters and influencers in Belize, so of course everybody want to watch, right? So let's talk about the film without giving too much away. Let's talk about the little bit of the plot. What can we expect? It's supposed to be a horror film, right? Why do I have to do it? I can't watch it now, but let's talk about the plot and what we can expect.
Well, to start off, it's a horror suspense thriller, you know, shot on the beautiful island of San Pedro. What I can tell you is it's based off one of the folklore stories that we have here.
Please tell me not to get it right this time.
So the cast was amazing, the international cast, the producers. Huge shout out to D.L. Stelle, Damian Douglas, you know, Baxter being the producer, you know, the cast, Raven, Ian. A huge shout out to them, everyone, and a huge shout out to we actually have a lead who was a Belizean, Horatio. Horatio, he was supposed to tune in, but Horatio was the lead. He's a very amazing actor as well, so huge shout out to Horatio for bringing his character to life and stuff. I just felt like everyone just really did their part in this film, because it's receiving a lot of positive reviews internationally, and being on a platform such as BET Plus. I mean, growing up, I was a huge fan of BET.
We all were. Never thought that one day.
Park.
Exactly.
But are we hoping to maybe do a screen viewing of this movie here in Belize?
Definitely in the pipelines. The producers actually spoke about that, because we actually have Paradise Part 1 and Part 2 and Part 3, and we're gonna film Part 4 next year. So
this is a franchise.
It's a franchise. Definitely, it's a franchise, and yes. So you're definitely gonna see us in Part 2 as well.
Any chances of collaborating with the Belize International Film Crew?
Yes, definitely. We will be in attendance at the film festival as well.
Oh, then they're right there right now.
Oh yeah, they are. Yes, you know, huge shout out to Mr. Javier Molina. You know, I met him while doing theater, because I was a theater performer back in the day. Jankono Productions. Huge shout out to Jankono Productions. You know, and I know Miss Zaiden through Mr. Nigel Miguel. A couple years ago, there was this film that was a short film that was filmed here in Belize called My Father Belize. That is when yes, it was a short film.
recall.
Yes, the star of the short film was actually a well-known Belizean actor by the name of Arlen Escarpeta.
Okay.
Yes, he's actually doing his thing out in America. You know, he's been on countless blockbuster films. So huge shout out to Arlen Escarpeta for doing his thing. You know.
What are your future plans, if you will? I know you don't give the whole franchise away, but moving forward, this is a leap into a huge opportunity. What can we expect from you both, and what do you want from this?
Well, as for me, I expect to keep moving forward. That's the number one thing. As long as we put God first, we could always keep moving forward. I expect to keep moving forward, and I expect myself to continue in this path. And the ultimate goal is to get on the big screen, and to get out there, to network, to work with different people, learn from different people, and the ultimate goal is to be out there. But for now, we will keep creating content and getting noticed until it's that time.
All right, Wani?
Well, for me, I'm doing the groundwork right now. We're walking so others after us can run. What I want to do is I want to create a bridge between Belize and Hollywood. You know, the journey to Hollywood is extremely difficult. But if I can make it easier for other upcoming Belizean actors, then by all means. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Roy Turner, who owns his own production company called Beeswood, who will be producing a whole bunch of Belizean films telling Belizean stories. So I actually met Mr. Turner a few years ago, and he has been one of my biggest supporters. You know, he always calls me and checks up on me, and he's like, you know what, you are going to be a star. Just keep doing what you're doing. So I'm forever grateful to Mr. Turner and all my supporters, my family and friends who support us, you know, as influencers, because if it wasn't for TikTok, I wouldn't have been this popular in Belize. You know, we've received so many support throughout the country of Belize. Sometimes it almost feels so surreal because, you know, posting like I said on my social media, we are celebrating every single accomplishment this year, big or small. It doesn't matter. A win is a win.
A win is a win indeed, Dippo. Wani, shout out to you guys. We hope to see your screening very soon. Congratulations, and congratulations to all the cast members that are on Paradise. When does it air? It don't air.
It don't air. It's on
okay,
BT
when it
Plus.
air here, we gotta figure it out. Thank you guys.
Before we go, we're actually doing something for the community as well. On December 2nd, I'm hosting a All-Star basketball charity event in San Ignacio at the Victor Galvez Stadium. We will have a bunch of games. You know, we have the artists versus influencers, so you get to see Wani and Dippo go up against Stig the artist, Dando, Yastalia, you know, David Murray, Benjamin Garcia, Basement Fox, Yuhan at Belize. Huge shout out to all the influencers and all the artists real quick. All the proceeds from this charity event will go towards a toy drive for the kids for Christmas. So we're encouraging people to come out to the event December 2nd at the Victor Galvez Stadium. It's entitled the Caver Kobe Smith All-Star Night in honor of Caver Smith, who recently passed away. So definitely encouraging the entire community to come on out and support our worthy cause, you know, for December 2nd.
Wonderful. Well, no doubt you're going to get the people. Then just have to post it on TikTok. But thank you guys so much for stopping by this morning. We got to take the break and continue the conversation with the Belize International Film Festival. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
With eCash, bill payment is extremely convenient, and all utility companies accept eCash payments. What's even better? You get to split bills with your roommates, siblings, or whoever you desire. Simply open your eCash app, go to Bill Pay, tap the respective utility company, enter the information, and pay the bill. Then tap the transaction made. Tap Split the bill. Select Evenly. Send the request to who you are splitting the bill with, and get notified when they pay. Talk about making life easy and avoiding confusion. You can split the bill for restaurants, grocery stores, and for any eCash payment you make. To find your next yummy meal, hair treatment, or chill spot, simply open the app and utilize the geolocation service to see nearby businesses that accept eCash. Geolocation and bill payment make life a whole lot easier.
Who's my last little bit of paint?
Paint? How can that be a problem? We got you.
You have the exact color?
Definitely.
Attention DIY enthusiasts and professional builders. It's Builders Hardware's Mega Sale, starting October 16th and running through to December 30th. During our Mega Sale, you can enjoy up to 30% off items in our store. Looking to freshen up your home? Then enjoy 20% off on all paints, wood stains, and accessories. But that's not all. You get a whopping 25% discount on all other items in our store and a massive 30% off selected items. At Builders Hardware, we believe our customers are awesome. And that's why we're committed to providing top-notch service and the highest quality products. So whether you're a seasoned pro or a DIY beginner, we are waiting for you. Builders Hardware Mega Sale from October 16th until the end of the year.
My Social Security is your secure online account to manage all your Social Security information. My Social Security launched in March 2021 with registration service to apply online for new or replacement Social Security cards. Upgrades to My Social Security continues with a new look, enhanced customer experience, and its newest feature, Sickness Benefit Online application. With My Social Security, you can create your account, log in, and take control of your Social Security information. This includes applying for a new or replacement Social Security card for yourself, child, or dependent. Make appointments online and submit your complete sickness benefit claim package. Our customer care team is here to provide you, our valued customers, with real-time support. Connect with one of our customer care agents through direct messages on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or live chat, or follow our YouTube channel for more information. Social Security at your fingertips. My Social Security.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
And we are back with our final conversation of the morning. We have been joined on set by the founder and creative director of the Belize International Film Festival, my good friend Suzette Zaiden. Good morning, Suzette.
Hi, good morning.
And she is joined by the technical director also of the Belize International Film Festival, my other good friend Javier Molina. Man,
everybody suit up today. Yes, indeed.
The guy is sharp to the nines.
The nines. That means complete. The gel down, the blue tie.
Thanks to my stylist, aka my wife.
We're here to discuss serious business once you're formally dressed.
Right.
Let's talk about the upcoming film festival and what we can expect as fans of this particular initiative. Let's start with you, Suzette.
You can expect films, and more films. Morning.
Good morning.
And we're going to have films. We're going to have a workshop, a one-day workshop on Sunday, next Sunday, right here. How to make a feature film with a shoestring budget. Sounds like all of our budgets. We could almost teach that for sure. How to create that film festival with
budget.
Yes,
shoestring.
If we make a shoestrings. Okay, so there's a workshop. So actually, that's an 8-day workshop, 8-hour workshop from 9 a.m. to 5, being facilitated by our opening night filmmakers from Antigua and Barbuda. So they'll be teaching that. We have 20 seats. Half have already gone. And I have a feeling soon. 5 have gone out of that. So maybe only 5 seats are left. So if anybody's interested, they should really reach out to us, DM us, and say, I want a seat, so we can reserve it. Because that's not a technical workshop. You know, people here film and they automatically assume that we're all camera people. We're all that Javier part. That's where Javier come in. There's also, I'm more the creative part with like the planning, the production part. I'm not saying he can't do it, but just I can't do it. Let's just put it that way. Yes.
He has his
I could say I can't do it. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But so it's the if you're going to put together a feature film, you have to really plan it. You have to organize it. You have to figure out. You do your casting. You do your scheduling. You do all that part. That's all important. So it's a production workshop. So if you have an idea, this might be if you have an idea for a movie, because a lot of us do have ideas, this might be a good stop to kind of figure out how to bring that to life. Apart from that, we have 45 films from 32 countries. Wow. Stretched across 10 days. And maybe, you know, so we're hoping that there's some real good film buffs out there that they say, you know what, I'm going to go to the opening night, watch the opening night films, and then Saturday, we're at UB. We're at UB and we're using 2 screens. We'll be in the Jaguar Auditorium, starting to show films from 1 o'clock. And we'll be over at the conference room. With the first film will show at 10 a.m. It's called Unknown Belize, and it will feed into a panel discussion on sustainable development. So we're working out the exact mechanics of that right this minute with the Environmental Club, and they're excited to be a part of it. And we have filmmakers. A lot of the films in the festival talk to sustainable development in the terms of balancing or looking for the understanding between development and conservation.
45 films in 10 days
32
is
countries.
Quite a marathon.
It is.
Right? And so the average person may not be able to attend and view every single. So my question, is there one particular film that you guys would encourage?
I encourage you to watch all 45. I cannot, as a festival director, have favorites.
You can have a favorite film.
But I will not say that.
But look, I don't have the world of time.
Actually,
as much as I would want to support and
support. The catalog
helps with that. The catalog has all the listing and the description, so you could start there, like browsing all of the different films that we have, whether it's a documentary, whether it's narrative, whatever. You use the catalog, and then you can kind of narrow down.
Use the digital catalog.
Right.
That was going to be my next question in terms of we said how many 45 films, how many genres are being displayed?
So we actually have categories at the festival. We have feature narratives, and we selected 8, and we have 3 contributed by the European Union. So we have a partnership with the European Union office here in Belize. So they're doing like a showcase within the festival as well. So we have like 8 in competition, and those are showcased. That's like 11 feature narratives. Then we have about 9 feature documentaries, and that 2 of those are not in competition. Actually, there are things that could pique your attention. I don't know what you like. We have there's a story from Venezuela about this woman who is estranged from her family. She's working in a low-income job. She has a child, and she has a tumor on her head, and she's about to die. And so she has a child about 6, and it looks at that relationship, and it's really hard. You know, a lot of single parents often wonder what happens if they pass away and the child has not grown up yet. What happens? And so she has to deal with that.
Very relatable.
So that might interest a certain audience. So when, like exactly what Javier said, we will have all these films up on the website within the next few days, and all the synopses and all the trailers, and you can basically go to the website and check everything out and it will say what time they're showing. And you at a festival, people don't really see everything. They have a little book and they say, all right, today's Saturday, what's showing? Just like when you watch cable TV, you're like, what's showing at what time? I want to see that. Oh, and that's showing in that one. So we encourage people to buy a festival pass though. You buy a festival pass for $60, and that gets you into anything from Saturday, November 4th till Saturday, November 11th. You could hop and skip and jump, and you can say, okay, this is nothing like I wanted. Let me go see what's showing in the next screen.
I think for me, I would like to know the Belizean films and how many do we have, and do we know some of the names of these producers for these films?
Directors. It's usually the directors. No. What happened is we did not have F. Belizean feature this year.
Okay.
And in terms of the documentary, we have a lot of environmental. And a lot of documentaries tend to be environmental. We have Unknown Belize, which was made by Fest Films, the crew in Belmopan, Feste Films, and that was the film that was premiered in London, so this will be its Belize premiere.
Okay.
And then we have one that was, again, not made by Belize, but it's called Treasure of the Caribbean. And it talks about a reef that was found off the Cayman Trench. I don't know if you know where the Cayman Trench is. It's not by the Cayman Islands. The one down south, like in that bay. And so somebody a few years back kind of stumbled across this. Like, you've heard of this whole story, right? Well, this is a film on that, the research of finding it and how they were kind of like low key checking it out. They didn't want people to alert people to this. And so it's called the Krong of the Cayman Krong, this reef above this huge trench. Where, you know, it's a trench that was formed probably by the tectonic plates. So that's a beautiful film that will show. But then we have there's so much. We have a beautiful animation called Opal. It's the Caribbean fairy tale. It's got the magic, it's got the powers, it's got everything, and it's from Martinique. Opal. And dedicated to all the opals out there is what it says. And the background is really interesting because it's got all these like indigenous. He put all the dots, the lines, everything. It took a long time to do it. I know the director personally, so I saw he did a short a long time ago called Battlefield Chronicles, and this was eventually the feature film. So he's been working on this one for a while. So that's from the Caribbean, Martinique.
Good stuff.
It is good
I could
stuff.
go on.
I know it is, and I would not hear from Javier yet. So what are you doing
I know, right?
in this?
No, my role is, and has been from day one, really is the technical, behind the scenes. Suzette takes care of everything, making sure the red carpet is laid out, everything else is set, the people are in place, but at the end of the day, without the films and making them show, we're not going to festival.
Indeed.
So that's my role. Downloading. Because now, thankfully, we're at download stage where most people just submit links with passwords. We download the files. We check the files to make sure that everything goes well with the files. And then it's on to the actual venues where we're going to be projecting these things. So making sure the projectors are in place, the sound, technically, anything that has to do with actually the movie showing. Yes.
I go Javier.
So it's going to be featuring every hour, every half hour, these films. How are they
scheduled?
Every Saturday and Sunday. This coming Saturday and Sunday is pretty much for Belmopan. It's like the intensive festival. So we start 10 a.m. in the conference room, and after that panel discussion happens at 12:30. We will show a few more films like every 2 hours.
Okay.
So you have like a half hour between them. Over in the Jaguar Auditorium, starting at 1, you will the same every like 2 hours. Most of them are like 90-minute films. And so pretty much you have like a half hour break in between. We've tried to stagger them between the two screens so you can
have
decide if
time
you
to
want to
shuffle
go
from
there.
one to the next.
Some people would skip one and say, I'm going to, like, I've seen people, we have a few fans that come with their little bags and their little snacks, and then they run out or grab something, and they come ready for the day, and they do the schedule. There's a few like that. Then there's some who can only handle one film a day.
Right.
Yeah,
One for the whole
90
week.
minutes is a lot.
Yeah.
No, it's not. We all watch Netflix and got marathon with the limited thing. No, bring that.
I can't do it. Binge watching is not something that I'm built for. No.
So you're not built for the festival.
No,
so you have to do.
No, she could pick specifically exactly what you want.
I want to pick something specific for the day.
What might be interesting, I don't know if we're also doing another panel, if you like the educational aspect, we're also doing another panel on indigeneity.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm talking about filmic representation of indigenous people. So that one will happen Wednesday at 2 at UP. I can't tell you the exact room yet, but we have a lot of people on that panel. We have Feline. Her film is in Garifuna. She's opening the festival. We have a filmmaker from Canada who has a film in the festival. She's Cree, and she's a doctorate by now in the studies. So she has a lot of information on indigenous filmmaking, where to find funds for that. And also about the representations. She's very faithful to her. So there's that conversation. We have Mr. Saki from the Indigenous Club as well. Delmer is kind of helping us head this up. He's excited to be a part of it. So we're glad that we were able to bring him panelists.
Yes.
So they're going to talk about the My representation. Somebody just asked me, are we putting in the Creole Indigenous? So by all means, let me know and we'll do it. We also have a virtual panelist from University of California, Santa Barbara. He was the consultant, one of the consultants for Wakanda Forever when they were creating the Maya cosmology. So he had a lot to say how that was formed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of this talk about indigenous representations.
And so all of these films, all of the scheduling, all of the information, where you can get your pass, where can we find all of that information?
On two places, two key places. The website.
What's the name of the website?
BelizeFilmFestival.com. We don't have the international in that.
Okay.
BelizeFilmFestival.com.
Okay.
And then the Facebook page is Belize International Film Festival. But if you type Belize and then IFF, you should also find it. That's also our social media handle, right? Yes. On everything, Twitter.
And buying the pass as well is
you reserve it, you buy it.
Online.
Yeah. You say I want it, you have it.
You bring one too?
Everything's digital these days.
All right.
You can reserve it. We can reserve it for you.
So the Belize International Film Festival starts this Saturday, the 3rd of...
Starts Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah,
so
that's the grand opening.
That's Friday, the 2nd,
the
3rd of November, all the way to the 12th.
To the 12th, yeah. Well, and actually, our media partner is Channel 5, in case you didn't realize that.
Nice.
Rick is our longtime partner, and Marlene has always been supporting us from way back in Miss Mai's day.
Yeah.
So we'll be featuring some films
as well. You will be broadcasting the opening live.
Wonderful. That's great to know.
And the closing will be broadcasted also on Channel 5.
Channel 5. From November 3rd to the 12th, you can catch the Belize International Film Festival at the University of Belize campus. Please go and support a worthy opportunity. It's part of our orange economy, if you will, Ms. Suzette.
And we're getting the youth involved.
As well as in San Ignacio.
Yes.
Okay,
yes. We're in San Ignacio.
At the Welcome Center and at the Soul Project.
And at the
we
Soul
finished
Project.
in Bamapan Thursday.
Okay, and then finish off
on Friday and Saturday.
Perfect. Thank you both so much for joining us this morning. We gotta close, but
That's okay.
we'll continue to promote this wonderful initiative. Thank you both.
Look forward to that.
We gotta take the break, guys, and when we come back, it's to wrap things up. Don't go away.
Do you know how to choose the best engine oil for your car? We believe the best engine oil should provide optimal performance and ultimate protection for longer. For Quartz engine oil, our engineers have formulated age resistance technology, also known as ART. It's a breakthrough innovation. The interaction between oil molecules is increased, creating a super resistant molecular structure. So whatever the conditions, it helps to prevent the lubricant protective film from breaking. Any engine is exposed to harsh conditions. Extreme temperature and pressure, friction, sludge accumulation. The molecular structure of quartz with ART stays strong to perfectly lubricate and protect engine parts in all conditions. And the results are outstanding. Protection against sludge buildup improved by 18%. Protection against mechanical wear improved by 74%. Thanks to quartz with ART, save on maintenance and preserve your engine's power. So next time you wonder which engine oil to use, choose performance and protection that lasts longer. Quartz with age resistance technology. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart.
It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Do you own a car or motorcycle and need an extra income but don't have the time to commit to a second job? MidDriver is your solution, as you can work anytime and anywhere. Download the MidDriver driver app from Play Store or App Store, the Black app, and fill out the application or WhatsApp pictures to 615-5678 or 615-2250. Provide MidDriver with pictures of your driver's license, social security or passport, insurance sticker, license sticker, title, profile picture of you, police record or the receipt, front of vehicle, rear of vehicle, left side exterior, right side exterior, picture of passenger seat interior, picture of rear seat interior, vaccination card, and email address. The list might look long, but you have all of these already. Just the police left for you to get. When your registration is complete and approved, all you have to do, turn up online. When a job comes in, swipe right. Tap Arriving. This allows the customer to track your GPS progress. Tap Navigate. Google Maps will open to give you directions. Press Arrive. Customer gets notified that you are outside. When customer enters car, swipe right to start ride. MidDriver app charges by time and distance. That guarantees you to earn an income. When you reach destination and end the ride, the app will tell you and the customer the total cost of the ride. MidDriver only takes 15%, so 85% of the income is all yours. Don't forget to get that police record receipt, and you can be on your way to making extra money with the help of MidDriver.
Get ready, babe. We're going on a vacation.
Finally, where are we going?
Don't worry, babe. I have we covered.
Are you sure you know where we're going?
Yes, babe. Oh, right there, see? Babe, the price me too good to be true. Me look much more better in that picture.
When life throws you a curveball, Belize Bank has your back. With our online financing, you can turn any vacation mishap into a dream getaway.
Cheers to Belize Bank for making our dream vacation a reality.
Thanks to you, babes, to turn things around.
No thanks to you, cheapo.
Out.
Experience the future of financing with Belize Bank online, where you can secure funds for anything, from anywhere, at any time, all without stepping foot in a bank. Apply for a loan today and unlock a world of possibilities.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We are wrapping up our Monday morning show, Isani, but we want to thank all of our guests, starting with Minister Anthony Mahler from the Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations, all the way to our Belizean actors, Wane and Dippo, and wrapping things up with the folks from the Belize International Film Festival. And of course, we want to thank you, our viewers, for tuning in and starting your morning right here with us on Channel 5. If you have any questions or concerns, you can drop us a line right here at oie@channel5belize.com. You can also catch our live stream on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ, and all of our highlights and back scenes on Instagram at OIE Belize. And please, please, please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes
to start your morning right.
Be sure to keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you very soon, Belize. Have a great day. It's going to be a cool day. Bye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.